Malinori, and welcome back, friends. You've joined Fix You for more leveling action looking for group. Fix You is a holy priest, Blood Elf is the race, and the level is about 37 at the moment. So we're going to continue on. We're going to have one last try at a Cataclysm dungeon. Haven't had any luck yet getting into a Cataclysm dungeon. It seems that no other players want to run the Cataclysm world. Anyway, I'm going to wait for looking for group to put me into a dungeon, and I'll see you again at that moment. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, and we are actually in a Cataclysm dungeon. So, Vortex Pinnacle, quite a good one. I think the dungeon seems to have already been, I think they've already started. Let's have a look where they are. Okay. Might have to run ahead here. There is actually a hard fight to heal with lots of group heals, spamming heals. That's probably why the last priest left. I'm seeing in the chat. Okay, just catching up with the group. Alright. So we've got a paladin tank called Ego Check, quite funny. We've got a Death Knight called Depravities. And I don't know, I get a feeling this paladin could use more defensive cooldowns already, taking a lot of damage, but maybe that's the fight. I don't like it when the tank gets out of line of sight. Okay, that was a really bad way to pull. Just saying. So in this particular fight, I need to spam, pretty sure I need to spam the prayer of healing to keep everyone alive when the boss retracts the, I don't know what you call them, whirlwinds. Like this part here. Yeah. So you have to sort of stand close to the boss during this fight. And let's see how the DPS are doing. Pretty good. Boss is already almost down. And once again, gotta spam. Oh, okay. I'm blabbering away and the fight's over. Anyway, there's a couple of fights in this particular dungeon where you have to keep the group alive while they take masses of damage. That was probably the easier of the fights to do that. There's one coming up where it's even harder. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Got to try not to stand in the storm. There's a little hack that I've learned. You can stand in this green circle and you get free healing while the rest of the group stands outside. Okay, now we make our way past these swirling gate things. You have to hit them to get past them. It's a strange mechanic. Okay, we're coming up to a fight soon that I have to spam. It's really hard to keep a group alive if they're not, if they don't position themselves very well. Of course, they will inevitably blame the healer, but I can assure the listener that you can avoid the damage in this fight if you stand away from the storm. You'll see what I'm saying in a moment. For some reason the shaman's taking tons of damage. That's because they're standing in the line of fire, so to speak. Okay, this bit here, the tank's gone in with a giant pull, but you see in a moment that they start casting a storm cloud, and you've really got to move out of the way of it. I'm actually very impressed. I like that. They're all moving out the way of that. I've just gone up to level 38. Okay, we're coming up to another boss here. This is an interesting fight, especially in heroic. This isn't heroic, so... Okay, the tank is sort of not really positioning the boss properly for this fight. You're supposed to spin the boss around so the DPS can take advantage of the wind. Anyway, a couple of spam heals there, and we're all good. Such a fun way to transport yourself between platforms, I guess. So these guys here, the idea is you need to kill the healer first. I think the healer's called the Adept. And one of them does a lot of damage as well. I think they do like a Shaman Storm Strike move. Okay, now we run up the top of the platform. You got to keep these guys out of the triangle thing. You can see there's sort of an ambient group damage that just kind of keeps happening. Anyway, this dungeon is full of occasions to group heal. And I'm lucky I've got at least one group heal spell. It's not very powerful though, that's the only problem with that spell. Okay, this bit here, again, is another opportunity for group healing. I'm about to take group damage, so I'm going to spam Prayer of Healing. If I can keep people alive, that would be good. For some reason the shaman's taking tons of damage. I don't know why the tank is sort of powering ahead too quickly. Oh, I see. He's pulling. It's a pretty good move actually. I pay that one. That's someone who knows what they're doing. I wouldn't have minded a bit of a drink actually. I'm just marking up the mobs to hit first. Okay, I'm taking some damage here for some reason. So is the tank, big time of course. Okay, I'm going to have to use Prayer of Healing again. Dispel that from the tank. I wouldn't mind a very quick little drink actually. Top up my mana before the next phase. Okay. Running very far behind the tank, so these guys are going to die because they've started the fight without their healer. Just a little bit too fast this pace, I think. Anyway, I'm not complaining. Well, I probably am complaining. Let's be honest. Gotta stand inside this triangle here, otherwise you will die. Everyone seems to know that. That's pretty good. This is why people used to find these dungeons brutal. Healing them was brutal. A lot of them have been nerfed since their original incarnation because they were just too difficult for most groups to heal through. So once again, you got to put yourself into this triangle. And now try and keep the group alive for the final little phase. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay. And that's the final boss. Done. Still level 38. We're back at the start of the dungeon. Need to choose a ring. Caliph's band. Choose that. Great. Done again. And that's the Vortex Pinnacle. Let's go back to Orgrimmar. See what we've got in the bags. Okay. Salvaged goods. The Staff of Radiance. Okay, I like that. Leggings as well, and that stuff I have to sell in the auction house. Okay, we're going to run another dungeon, I think, but I might just, I wonder if I should try one more Cataclysm. What to do. Okay, welcome back friends. We are now entering another Cataclysm dungeon, which is awesome. Oh, the quest is accepted. We're back with the same group actually. These guys are all running Cataclysm, so we should be good to go. This dungeon has one... Whoops, got feared away there. What was I going to say? It has one part that's a bit tricky for a healer. Really, it's down to the rest of the group knowing the dungeon as to how well we go. There's many ways to wipe out in this dungeon if you don't know what you're doing. I'm probably traumatized from when the Cataclysm dungeons were first released and people would just be, groups would be dying over and over again. So this first little phase here, you've got to kind of follow, is it Millhouse? I keep calling him Millhouse, but it's Millicent. Very little mage with the skull over his head. Anyway, it's a mage. We have to follow him down the path here, and then eventually he dies and we fight a worm. Spoiler alert, by the way. You can see already, like, if you're watching my heal bars here, my life bars, people are taking lots of damage in these little fights. That used to be quite an enormous amount of damage back in the original incarnation of this dungeon before they made it a bit easier. I think players were just complaining too bitterly about how hard it was, particularly healers who had to heal through this. I don't have a mass dispel ability yet. I can't remove magical effects off everyone in one hit. That's a skill I get a bit later. Not sure when I get that skill actually. I need to grab this little thing for the quest. Hand that in. Okay, now this boss fight here with this worm I used to die all the time, and I never knew why I would die. And one day I upgraded my computer so I had better graphics, and then I realized there was a whole bunch of effects, graphic effects that I wasn't seeing that were leading to my death, basically. and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So the boss has just gone underground, and you can see this cloud of smoke here that tells you where the boss is going to pop up. Well, I couldn't see the cloud of smoke basically because my graphics settings were so low. People kept screaming at me, "Why don't you move? Why don't you move?" I'm like, how do you guys know how to move? I couldn't figure it out. This tank is like just, oh god, I need to move out of the way of that. He's good, but he's like stressing me out because he's pulling so fast. And we're still in the middle of a boss fight, and he's pulled another mob. Gosh. Okay. Supposed to jump there when that mob stomps his foot. Like, I got a really nice weapon there. I'm about to have to say goodbye to my heirloom weapons soon, so it's nice to get that. Just having a quick drink. Top up the miner a little bit. Okay. This guy, the tank is gonna double pull. Okay. So these crystal giants, we have to jump up and down when they stomp their foot, otherwise they do lots of group damage. I'm the only one who jumped then. See how it's not like the group heal spell I use, prayer of healing, just doesn't heal for very much. Okay, got through that part okay. Had to use my instant heal on the tank to keep him alive. The tank is trying to keep sort of a momentum going to get through the dungeon at warp speed, but I don't know if we really need to rush that fast. I don't think it makes an enormous difference, and the risk is that if you go too fast, we'll wipe the group. See, like, these guys aren't even dead yet, and we're about to fight a boss. So here's the boss fight, this dragon. There's a few unusual mechanics to this fight. The heroic version of this is quite a challenging fight. Well, it's challenging if you don't understand the fight, and there's just no way you're gonna guess in the middle of the fight what to do. What you need to do, essentially, if you're asking, is avoid the lava on the floor. Also, don't get hit by these rocks as they fall from the ceilings, another good thing. And in the heroic version, I'm not sure if the boss does it in the normal version, but he shoots out waves of spikes at all the players, and they have to stand behind these rocks to protect themselves. I'm finding myself spamming flash heal on the tank, which is not good. To move out of the way. Here comes some more lava. You need to be mindful to step out of the way of those lava pools, and for some reason I'm standing in all of them. And now we've got more rocks falling from the ceilings. These black shadows show you where they're going to fall. Okay, that was a fairly adequate attempt at that boss. No dramas. Now we're entering a section here where it's really easy to wipe the group because of those people there, I don't know what they're called, basically call for their friends. I've got to follow the tank, unfortunately. So this bit here is really easy to wipe. It's hard to explain why, you just have to see. You can overpull basically badly in this room. You can, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, pull the entire room. I thought there was a word for it. This is really hard. I'm trying to spam group heal. And not having much success. I'm not sure why all that fire damage is still happening. Okay, I need to catch up. We need to make it down to the boss down there. And that boss has some interesting mechanics too. I mean, this boss used to be so hard on heroic mode back in the day that groups would just literally give up. There were lots of moving parts to figure out. Okay. We're gonna come over here. There's these trolls, whatever they are, just so hard to heal through. As you can see, they interrupt your heals, and yeah, it's awful. And they jump around as well. Okay, quick drink. And let's get down here. So this is a fight where if the tank definitely doesn't know what he's doing, he can wipe. He can die and he can get one shot by that boss. And we'll see in a moment whether he knows what he's doing. Same with the DPS. This bit here, they gotta get away from the boss. Oh, they did well. Okay. So I'm relaxing now. The boss actually doesn't do much damage otherwise. He just has these crazy mechanics where he can kill you instantly, but otherwise it's pretty easy to heal through. It's hard to think that this guy on heroic mode is hard, but he's super hard. Osrook. I like to see the DPS surviving his power moves. He talks a lot. If I had the sound turned up, he doesn't stop talking the whole fight. Nice, got a trinket as well. That is really good. Trinkets are hard to find in dungeons. Tank is powering ahead. Gotta catch up. This bit here can wipe. Need to kill these followers. It's not essential, we're going to get a chance to kill some more followers in a moment. And I'm almost level 39. Should be level 39 before the end of the dungeon. Spamming heal on depravities, the Death Knight. We have to kill all these followers in one hit. And now we have I'm going to stand up here. Hopefully the tank won't go too far away. This is to avoid the gravity wells. Pro tip. Just going to drop a renew on everyone. So these gravity wells, these are a pest. Oh, tank's gone a little bit out of my healing range. How's that knockback spell? It's crazy, isn't it? Oops. Had to move that. They're all coming for me. It's okay, I was being a bit cheeky. She throws rocks that land in those spots. There's no gravity wells for some reason. Okay, there's a gravity well. Maybe they nerfed that spot where I was just standing. Used to be a good place to stand. And we are done. Teleport out of dungeon. Hopefully we can teleport back to dungeon in a moment. Okay, another ring. Oh, a waist. I'm going to take the waist, the belt, call it the waist. What am I saying? And we are done. So, let's have a look. What do we get in the salvaged goods? Another staff. And in the satchel of helpful goods, another ring. So we've got a fair bit of armor now to start our re-gearing. Re-gearing, is that the word? It is. Leave the instance group. Back to Orgrimmar. And I think that's enough dungeoning for this episode. I hope you will join me again for some more power leveling using the looking for group function. Take care, like and subscribe, comments are always welcome. Bye for now.